As the sun began to rise, Henry pulls the Flying Kipper. It was a long train carrying fish and transported from one part of the island to another. He loved pulling it and was one of his favorite jobs on the railway. One evening, the engines puffed into Tidmouth sheds for a good night rest. Gordon was already there. He was coughing constantly. He was having trouble with his firebox, and the fitter would not arrive until the next day. Gordon's driver went over to Henry's crew. Looks like Gordon won't pull the express tomorrow morning. Henry will have to do it instead. But wait, what about the Flying Kipper? Said Henry's driver. Oh no, not James. He would do anything to avoid pulling that train. Why not the other tender engines? Asked Gordon's driver. I'm afraid not, said Henry's driver. They're all busy at the moment. Except... Hello? Did I miss something? Gordon and Henry's crews turned over to Sophie. Sophie, just the engine we need to speak to you. Are you busy tomorrow morning? No, not really. Good. The Henry is pulling the express tomorrow morning, and we need another engine to take over his Flying Kipper. Since you're the only one available, you will have to pull it. But I never pulled the Flying Kipper before. Besides, why can't I pull the express instead and Henry will pull his Flying Kipper? I'm afraid not, said Henry's fireman. It's already been arranged. Oh, okay. Well, at least it will be a good experience pulling the Flying Kipper. Henry was concerned. Are you sure about it? I'm sure, Henry. Don't worry. I'll pull the Kipper quite well. That night, Gordon was coughing all night, keeping the engines awake. Sophie, on the other hand, had a good sleep throughout the night. It was 5 a.m. when Sophie's crew came to start her up, and she puffed out of the sheds towards the harbour. She was very sleepy when she arrived. The arose of fish was everywhere, and to Sophie, everything and anything seemed to be dripping and leaking. Phew, she sniffed. I never knew the smell would be that strong. She backed down onto a line of rusty kipper vans. Through many years near the sea, the vans had fallen victim to wood rot, and the metal had corroded. This made the van doors hard to close. Even the couplings felt damp. Sophie closed her eyes and waited until the last of the fish vans were loaded. Then everything seemed to happen all at once. The workmen struggled to shut the last door, but with one big bang they forced it closed. This woke Sophie up. She saw the guard's green lamp and started off quickly with a jerk. No one had noticed that the brake van did not follow and remained right where it is at. The sun had only just reached the horizon as they made their way down the line. The morning air was still icy and cold, and Sophie was glad that she had a good fire to keep her warm. As the smell of fish spread across the country, the people in the towns keep their windows shut. Normally Henry would fly by with the Kipper, but Sophie didn't know about it and was going a bit slower. The other engines who passed her all said the same thing. Wow, what is that smell? That fish is not nice. Well, the only thing it's missing is chips and ketchup. But Sophie didn't care. After making some stops along the way, she had one more delivery to make, right over Gordon's Hill. Sophie knew she should have waited for help here. The train was very heavy, but Sophie wanted to get her smelly train over with, so she steamed up the hill as fast as she could. This was a big mistake. They were nearly at the crest when the coupling on the first fish truck snapped. Sophie, red in the face, was flung forward. Oh no, she gasped. The Flying Kipper was now rolling backwards down the hill. The signalman was too late to divert the trucks into a siding. Around the bend, Henry steamed towards Gordon's Hill. He wasn't going fast, but still couldn't slow down in time. No one was hurt, but Henry's front wheels were derailed by the impact of the trucks. The crates of fish had been in the front most vans, which hadn't derailed, but the strong smell of fish still hung in the air. Some of the empty trucks were in pieces all around Henry. Well, Henry, it looks like pulling the Flying Kipper isn't as easy as I thought it would be. To avoid another delays, an engine was called to take the express to the next station. Workmen hurriedly cleared the line once it had gone. The rest of the mess was cleared up, and Henry was put back on the rails. Diesel took what was left of the Flying Kipper onto the last station. The Fat Controller spoke kindly to Sophie. I am proud of you for taking the train for Henry. This wasn't your fault. The metal on the van's coupling was corroded and has needed replacing for some time. I'm only grateful this wasn't a serious accident. Gordon will be back pulling the express tomorrow, so Henry can pull the express next time. Sophie smiled, as did Henry. Early the next morning, Henry steamed across the island with new vans for the Flying Kipper. All the fish were delivered to the stations, and Henry made excellent timing. While Sophie was sleeping, Henry had shunted her over to the harbour shed for a fishy wake-up call. Henry's own way of saying thank you for taking the Flying Kipper.